Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I am doing fine. I'm going to do a baseball one because there's all these baseball games that starting at 12 o'clock and it's 11 o'clock now. Um, let's quickly review today. Nice day yesterday. Philly under 7.5. The Tigers actually win 4-1 with Scooble on the mound. So the one time I locked Scooble, he loses 5-0, and then. But here, see, this is why I didn't play Ranger Suarez. Two aces going, it should be a low-scoring game, and it was 4-1. And really, Detroit had one inning they got runs, and that was it. With their other 200 hitters, it was amazing. The rally started with the 180 hitter got a hit, and the 175 hitter got a hit. Just amazing how they, you wouldn't think they'd ever get a hit, right? They hit 175, 180. All right, Philly under 7.5, 7 units a winner. Atlanta gets postponed. KC, we lose 3 units. The White Sox over 7.5, we win for 5 units, which was also San Diego over 7.5, so I can't duplicate. We had the Dodgers 3 units win and Boston 3 units lose. So they cancel out. Washington and Kansas City gives us a +2 units, and then we hit 7 units on Philly, so we win 9 units yesterday. Another positive day, so very happy. But you see how I did it. I waited for Ranger Suarez, and he gets school. If he doesn't get Scooble, and he gets some other guy, then it's a Philly bet. But because it's Scooble, you play the game under, and it was perfect. Other games, I hit California, I hit Milwaukee, I hit the Yankees over 8.5, and I lose Baltimore, and I lose Pitt under, because I was a little surprising. Pitt doesn't hit. They got 3 or 4 hitters under 200. Yep, they still manage to score runs. All right, so it's 6:26 today. God, it's already July 4th. The insanity of it all, right? Time just keeps ticking. All right, so let's do baseball, and then I'm going to do gold with the derivatives, and then what reality looks like with the Montana 82 Topps PSA 9 card. And I will explain what real pricing is. All right, so it's 11-11. It's 12-10. The first game's 12-10. Seattle, Tampa. Kirby 6-5 with a 3.47 for Seattle. Ryan Peapot 4-4 with the 4.61 for Tampa. Over under a 7. Seattle's a 120 favorite. I don't have any. I'm not going to chase this. Philly, Detroit 110. Philly's a 165 over under 9. Spencer Turnell, who used to be on the Tigers, is now on Philly. 3-0 with the 2.63 against Tyler Holton on the Tigers. Never heard of him. I think he's a bullpen guy. So let's look at this. I'm leaning towards Philly here. Spencer's pitched a lot of games. Oh, he's pitching. So he started the first 5-6 games, 5 innings, 6-4, 7.55. Worst was giving up 3, and then he went to the bullpen. And he had one bad outing. He gave up 3 runs to the Mets. Then, it's hard to say with one. So, not sure why he went to the bullpen, but now he's starting probably against Detroit. So I give them 5 innings. And then we got to look at Philly's bullpen because they'll be playing 4 or 5 innings. A 341, and we know they got 300 hitters. Detroit's bullpen is getting worse and worse. It's now 404, and they hitting 232. It's funny, the Tigers was like a two something bullpen, and then it climbed into the threes. Now it's in the fours. So we're going to take Philadelphia here. And we'll play it for 5 units. There's really no over-under. I mean, Spencer Turnbull he's not starting enough. Tyler Horton, I thought, is a bullpen guy. Let's take a look at that. Which is odd. He's 3-1 with the 405. Yeah, he is a bullpen guy. It's weird he's 3-1. A bunch of 1 innings and 2 innings. But when you look at the Tigers bullpen, it sucks. So it's bullpen against bullpen for some reason. This is why I would have pitched Skubal the whole game and Suarez the whole game to not use my bullpen. I don't need the bullpen out there. So this is, again, is where bad managing comes in. Now you got a day game, and you probably can't use the pitchers from last night who pitched in the bullpen. You're not going to use Suarez or Skubik for 5 days. Why didn't you just pitch him 9 innings? It might hurt their arm. Like 100 is the magic pitch count. Oh, if they pitch 105, they'll need surgery. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. All right, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. So we're taking Philly there. Cincinnati won 40-10. Another 10. This is just crazy. And yet it went over 10 the last time. Luis Ortiz, 3-2 with a 3.45. Graham Ashcraft. Again, it's probably an over, but 10. 3.5, it doesn't make sense. He's got a 3.50 bullpen and a 2.27 batting average. And Pitt, the same thing with the 2.27 batting average. And yet they make it 10, and it'll probably go over. So I'm going to just leave that. I had Pitt under 8.5. I didn't play it. I just, it's plays and then bets. I didn't bet it. And it went over 8.5. All right, Atlanta and the Cardinals. This is what we played yesterday. That got rained out. We will go back and play it again. Under Atlanta, under 8. And we'll make this 3 units. Miami and Kansas City. We had KC, and they lost 2-1 yesterday. Valentin Baluzzo, 0-0 with an 0-0 against Brady Singer. I like Brady Singer, but let's see. He's 4-4 with a 3.29. Let's look at his last 4. Gives up 1 run, 3, 7. The Yankees pounded him. Cleveland, he gave up 3, 2 against Tampa, 1 against Oakland, 4 against Seattle. The rest are ones. So he has 1-5. Gives up 5 to Toronto, and then 4 to Seattle a month later, and then 7 to the Yankees. And otherwise, he's very 1 and 2 runs. Miami doesn't hit. This Valentin Bozo probably has never pitched before. I hate these 0-0 with the 0.00 ERA. Come on. Jesus, well, I can't hit the. This is unbelievable. Why can't I hit this guy? That's unbelievable. I'm either hitting the total game or I'm hitting Brady Singer. No, fuck it. I don't think this guy's pitched. Well, I like KC, but I probably won't play it. All right. Texas and Milwaukee. I have no pitchers. Texas is favored 8.5. Without pitchers, can't play it. Colorado, Houston. Ryan Feltner, 1-6 with the 6.02. Oof. Against Spencer Spaghetti, 3-6, who got plastered by the Tigers for 100 runs. So I'm going to go over in this game. Houston over 8.5, and we'll go this. This has got to be 5 units. Oakland and California. California 125-9. We got Joey Estes for Oakland, 2-2 with the 5.53. Ronzi Contreras, one. What the hell is this guy? Ronzi from the Dominican Republic. And he's a bullpen guy. So with a 3.90. Okay, I'm going over. Geez, over 9. Does Oakland get over 9? California hits 235. Oakland hits 220. See, it's a hard. I don't have hitting. I got so many hitters that can't hit 200 on the rosters. And yet they sometimes get hits. So I'm just going to pass on that game. It should be an over, but it's over 9, and I'm going to pass. Washington, San Diego. This one went over yesterday. I don't know why I looked, because it's totally different pitchers, right? I was thinking about that going, okay, it's good they hit, but that was against, it's like the Tigers when they had that game against the White Sox and the pitcher that sucked, and they got 13 runs. But as soon as they paid a good pitcher, they get shut out by Nola, and then they do get 4 runs on like 5 hits against Ranger Suarez. I was shocked they got any hits. And they'll probably get no hits today against Spencer Turnbull. Washington, San Diego. DJ Hertz 1-1 with the 4.50. Dylan Cease, who I liked, but he's now 6-6 with the 4.14. We're going to go over. Washington over 7.5, just like yesterday. We'll go 5 units on this game. That's the funny part about these teams. Like Detroit has Spencer Turnbull, and they let him go. Now he's starting on Philadelphia, and Detroit needs starters. Who did you get for him? And that's all you hear a lot of is we gave up Verlander and J.D. Martinez and Castellanos. We didn't get anybody back. Or a bunch of crap back. And the question is, why are you giving them up? You're giving them up for future prospects, which never turn out because most of the prospects don't. And but you have the established player. So they're talking about Skubal now. Well, we should get rid of him. Well, he's still good. But you've got him. You finally got your ace, and you want to get rid of your ace for what? More prospects that won't work? Even if they do work, will they be as good a pitcher as the one you have? I mean, the whole thing is just incredibly retarded. You don't give up your stars. That's how you win. You need stars to win. That's why Philadelphia is so good. That's why Baltimore is so good. Mahomes. So with the Tigers theory, they'd get rid of Mahomes to get draft picks. But you have Mahomes. You have the best quarterback in the league. Why would you get rid of him for draft picks who maybe will be as good as Mahomes, but you already have Mahomes? The whole rationale is incredibly retarded. All right. Cleveland, Baltimore. Baltimore minus 190-9. Carlos Carrasco, 3-6 with the 5.40. Grayson Rodriguez, 8-3 with the 3.82. Let's go Baltimore. Go Baltimore, beat Cleveland. 3 units. Toronto and Boston. I had Boston yesterday. They lost. Boston's a 155, 9.5 today. We got Yariel Rodriguez, 0-2 with the 5.94. Cutter Crawford, 3-7. This is definitely an over. So we're going to go Boston over. Cutter Crawford, we'll go 3 units. Cutter Crawford was good the first few games, and then after that, he's been terrible. And the ERA that was 1-something is now 3.59. And that's the problem with the ERA. You need enough data, enough games to make it where it's realistic. So 5 or 6 games, but he has 2 shutouts, and you got a 1.5 ERA. Now, after 15, 20 games, he's now got a 3.59. That's probably more of what you are looking for. The Yankees, Mets. The Yankees minus 138.5. Luis Gill, 9-2 with the 2.77. Sean Manaea, 4-3 with the 4. We're going Yankees. Go Yankees. 3 units. Probably a high scoring game too, 8.5. We'll see how strong Luis Gill is. Atlanta and the Cardinals. This must be the second game. Yeah, we got Atlanta under. Okay, so this is game 2. I hate when they do that. So game 1's at noon, and then they expect you to pay for that game. Then they want you to leave, and then they're going to have a second game. Are you kidding me? You can't just have a doubleheader. And the ironic part is the thing that hurts is their players, because the players get there at 9 o'clock to warm up. You play at noon till 3. And then what do? You ain't going home. And now you got to wait till 7:15 instead of just that half hour and then go play a second game. You've totally ruined your players. It's incredibly stupid. This game's in St. Louis. Bryce Elder, 1-2 with the 6.46. All right, we're going to go over here. We go Atlanta over 8.5. The Dodgers and the White Sox. We had the Dodgers that won yesterday. Gavin Stone, 8-2 with the 3.04. Eric Fetty, who's been their best pitcher, 5-2 with the 3.05. I can't really go under with the Dodgers, and it's a neutral. Both pitchers are about the same, so we can only go over, under, and it's an under, but I'm not going to go under against the Dodgers. So we'll leave it alone. Minnesota, Arizona. Simeon Richardson, 2-1 with the 3.26. Ryan Nelson, 5-5 with the 5. I don't like Simeon Richardson enough to bet him to beat Arizona at Arizona. I'm leaving this alone. And the Cubs and the 49ers. 49ers are 125 favorite, 7.5. Hayden Wesniewski, 2-4 with the 3.29. Hayden Birdsong, 0-0 with an 0-0-0. So we can't really touch this. The Cubbies, man, they can't hit. I'm going to leave this alone. I got enough. Okay, so let's review the games that we've bet on. Well, let's first review all of them. So we got Philly, Atlanta under 8 in game 1. KC, Houston over 8.5. Washington over 7.5. Baltimore, Boston over 9.5. The Yankees, Atlanta over 8.5. The bets, Philly is 5 units. Atlanta under 8, 3. Houston over 8.5, 5. Washington over 7.5, 5. Baltimore 3. Boston over 9.5, 3. And the Yankees for 3. There are your picks for today. So because of these early games, I wanted to do this before I went swimming, which I'm going to do shortly. I'm working on my college football. So right now I'm going through and I'm reading the analysis of the teams. So like Coastal Carolina. So we're reading Coastal Carolina. We're looking at the final analysis. I'm looking at the quarterback. I read the offense a little bit, and then I look at the schedule. And what I'm doing is saying, what type of team are they? Are they offense, defense? What's with the coach? Did they replace the coordinator? Replacing a defensive coordinator, I can't really do anything about. If they switch their offense to a air raid, like you know it, but that's going to take 5-6 weeks to really get into it, like Miami tried to do last year and Wisconsin tried to do last year. It didn't really work. So we'll have to see what they're doing this year. So I'm going through my notes. So, like, I found a game like Oklahoma. Now I see that Temple sucks. The new quarterback, and he's very weak. So I think Oklahoma could. They have a new quarterback. They could pound them, but I haven't gotten to Oklahoma yet in the thing. But that's what I'm looking for. Oh, this guy stinks. He's a transfer, or they lost a lot of transfers. There's some of these teams. Well, it's in my notes where they just don't have anybody. They're very, very weak teams. So that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, I know I'm on early today just to do the baseball. Now, there's one thing I wanted to do. That's what I'm doing in my off time is besides looking at the gold, looking at trying to get familiar with the new college, with this year's college football versus last year's. Alabama, they got a new coach, same quarterback, a little bit different defense. So you're trying to figure out all the variables to figure out how to bet them. That's what I'm doing now. All right. Now we're going to talk about gold, but we're going to talk about the difference between COMEX options and a real market price, a Joe Montana second-year card. So we can see the options at work here. You can see the price 23.18 goes down to 23.11, goes back to 23.17, goes down to 23.07, goes up to 23.18 again, goes all the way down to 22.96, and now goes back up to 23.03. Nothing about this is a normal price. This is all options. Silver 28.94. So we know the price isn't right. We know this movement makes no sense from a free market standpoint. So what's a free market? Well, you go to the grocery store to buy a Coca-Cola and it's $2.95 for a 2-liter, and tomorrow it's $2.95 for a 2-liter. And then sometimes they'll put it on sale. I see buy two, get the third one for free, and so it's like $6. So it ends up being back to the $1.99 a bottle, but you got to buy 3 bottles. That's how they adjust. So how do you measure that in inflation or deflation or whatever the hell they want to call it? So you can't measure it in inflation because it's the market. Prices are not. You can't measure them. That's not how you measure. Inflation is strictly inflating the money supply. It's got nothing to do with it. Devalues the dollar, which makes prices higher. The purchasing power. So really, the dollar doesn't buy as much as you print more and devalue it. And these MMT people that think you can just keep printing and it won't matter. Well, wait, why did the Russians go? Why did the Romans go out? They printed and they had too big a government. They printed money, had inflation, and government spending, and and basically socialism. Right? Rome went out, France went out, England went out, Spain went out. Amsterdam went out. They all went out the same way. They had gold, they printed money, they inflated, the money became worthless, they went out. And a lot of government spending, usually a lot of government spending and socialism, which is what government spending is. That's not government's role, isn't to spend. Government's role is very, very limited. We tax you, we keep the laws on the books, we don't allow corruption. We keep the money backed by gold, so it's good money. I mean, that's what we do, right? So that's the government's role. Giving out your money to somebody else so they can eat. it's up to them. So if I got $1 billion, it's up to me if I want to say, I'm going to give some money to charity. Well, it's sort of like what I did today for Daria. She needed money for food. I sent her money for food. So I'm helping her with charity, basically. Not that it's charity, but it's, giving her some money so they can eat. Okay. So she doesn't need government to do it. She has her boyfriend do it, right? So I'll give you money to eat. That's charity, but it's me giving it to her, not the government. She doesn't need the government doing it. There's no strings attached with me doing it, right? Here it is, enjoy. Versus if she goes to the government and then Putin says, "Oh, well, you've got to be a Cossack dancer and do all this and that for us." I mean, that's the problem with the government. They make you do things. Anyway, so gold, as you can see now, it's coming down a little. This is not a normal price. Normal prices do not go up and down every hour like this. Okay. This is what a normal price looks like in a free market. Okay, this is a 1982 Topps Joe Montana PSA 9. This card, $110. These are sold. So this auction's over. Got 110. This one got 100. This one got 83. Then we got 92. We got 114. We're back to 101. A 132. The guy accepted an offer under 129. Let's say it's 120. And here we go with 110 and 86. This is a free market. Now you can see it's not always 110, but it's never 40 and it's never 200. It's always right around 100, 110. Maybe there's an 86. There's some hundreds, there's some 110s. So what's the value of the card? Somewhere $100, $110. This is a PSA 9. And I got two of them, which probably will be PSA 10s. This is how the market works. On eBay is how you buy and sell. So to entertain Luke, how he says gold is illiquid, in other words, I can't sell it, is ridiculous. That's like saying, well, I got a Joe Montana second-year card and I can't sell it. Well, if I got a 9 and an 82, it's not his rookie, it's going to get about 110. And I know that. So how do I sell the Montana card? Well, I don't sell it on the street. Maybe the gold, the jewelry store that has that, maybe he buys it, but maybe not. We could entertain that thought. Or he goes and you go on eBay and sell it. Or you go to a card show. Now, if you go to a card show, you're going to sell it to sellers. So you really probably don't want to go to a card show to sell it to a dealer. Either you set up a table on your own and then you become the seller and then you sell it to the public, or you just go on eBay and you go, well, I'll put it out for like 110, 120, and I'll settle for 100 to 110. So you have an idea what the market value is. And there's no bullshit 40, 200, 40, like the derivatives. That's what the gold derivatives, you can see them today. You can see it's so full of shit. That's the problem with them. They're strictly options, and they're strictly what they're doing in the gold and the derivative is actually, this is one Montana card for 110, right? We're selling one card. But what's happening is in the derivative market, they're taking 5 cards and selling 500 of them or 1,000 of them. but they don't have the 1,000 cards to sell. It's ludicrous. And that's what they're trying to break out of. And that's what Luke keeps saying, when. And I keep saying, well, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So the change has been made. We're here. You have the one card. You put it up for auction. There's buyers. They see the price, 100, 110, and that's what they buy it for. And if you run an auction, you might get less or more. See here, the difference is he doesn't buy it now for 110. He gets 110. This guy ran an auction and he only got 86. So you're better off doing a buy it now for 110 than running an auction and only getting 86. So there's different ways you can sell it. I would do a best price, buy it now or best price, which is like this one. So he puts it out for 130, but then he accepts the best offer. And that's exactly what I would do. I would do it for like 125, and somebody would offer me 110 because he sees it 110 in all these other auctions, and that's really what I wanted anyway. Maybe I get a 125, but that's it. But you can see the price doesn't really move much. But these are PSA 9s. So the price sits there about 110, 120. If there's more demand for it, because the BRICS countries are now buying the Montana card, then it would go up in price. So as there's more demand, the price would go up, right? It's not really that scarce. I've got 2 of them, but they're not 9s. They're probably going to be 10s, but I got to get them graded, but they're perfect. This is how I invest. I buy them for $5 at a show in the 1990s. I see Peyton's and Walter Payton and Joe Montana in this set, gem mint, perfect centered, good corners, clear picture. And I get 2 of each, and they're got to be 10s. And I paid $5 each. I have no risk in the portfolio, and then let them go. That's how I invest. I don't need to buy in stocks because you can't really price fix this. This is not price fixable. There's nobody dumping 1,000 Montanas unless you really have 1,000 Montanas. So the COMEX is taking one and selling 100 Montanas. We're going to sell 100 Montanas for $50. Well, you flooded the market, so you ruined the value because now there's a lot of Montanas. There's not as many buyers, so the price drops. But you don't really have the card. That's what gold's doing. That's what COMEX is doing. They don't really have the gold, but they're selling, they're doing an option with 1,000, 50,000 ounces of gold with 5,000 ounces or, 2,000 ounces. So they're doing a lot of leverage. It's all bullshit. They don't have the gold. They shouldn't be able to sell it, but it's an option market. So therefore, the real physical gold price, what I'm saying, doesn't make sense. It would be like the Montana. Well, wait a minute. You've got Montana here at 110, at 120. The 49 is not the same card. Here, this guy got 132 for it. He did an auction. So his auction in 9 bids, he got 132. The other guy in 10 bids got 86. Maybe he's a better guy. So here's 101 for his Montana. This one it's a sticker. It's a different card. Here's 114 and the 92. The 92 was an auction. The 114 a buy it now. So analyzing it, you're better off doing a buy it now. The auctions don't seem to get as much. But you're selling one card and 10 guys, well, what he had 11 bids, so 11 people, or maybe not 11, maybe 5 people with multiple bids interested in the Montana, and then the other guy did a buy it now for 114. But notice the prices are purely 90, 110, 120, somewhere in that neighborhood. They don't go really low and they don't go really high like gold. Now, gold should be much higher because these derivatives, so it's like selling 1,000 Montanas and I don't have them. That's the criminal part of it. You don't have it. You can't sell what you don't have. how do you do an auction if I don't have the card, right? Okay, so you win the auction, you go, where's the card? I don't really have it. I'm just doing an option of the Montana cards, which is total bullshit. So this is what a real free market price should look like, somewhere in that little range between like 90 and 110, 120. That's what I mean, here you go, 100 and 110. This is kind of your range, right? They're all PSA 9s and they're all Montana, and these are physical, right? You notice there's not a lot of change. Now, if the demand increases, there's no more PSA 9s, then it would go up to 200, 300. That's how the Jordan got to 500,000. Now let's take a look. I'm curious. The PSA 10s. Let's get a flavor of the difference in price if we have any. Okay, so here we go. Same card, but it's a 10. Goes from 110 to 676. Here, 775 best offer. Here's $1,000. You got best offer. Here's $799. Two bids. You got $799. These are PSA 10s. Okay, then we've got 900. This is an autograph. So he wanted 9,000 for it, but it's an autograph, not the regular card. So he wanted more money for the autograph. So you can see where the pricing, hey, Greg and John. So you can see with a higher card, a PSA 10, even though it's Montana, you can see the difference. It went from 110 to 800, 700, 8, 1,000. So somewhere between 8 and 1,000 with 7 or 8 auctions. So you can see where the money goes for the better card. Still Montana, same set, but a better condition card, a 10 instead of a 9. Gem mint is 10, perfect. 9, who knows? Could have been a little off center. Could have been a little dinged in the corners. Could have been some scratches on it. Who knows? But you see, the prices are all the same. 676, and then 775. But best offer was accepted, so let's say 700. Then there's a $1,000 best offer, so let's say 900, and then the guy got 799, and then there's a 1,200. He took best offer. There's 899. So this is going for about 900, $1,000 for the Montana second year PSA 10, which I have 2 of. And that's what this is the real market, right? Because this is eBay, this is free market. One guy selling one card and one guy buying it, not the derivative bullshit that you see in gold. So if there was derivative, these cards would be selling for $200 instead of 1,000, because some guy would be selling 1,000 of them, which would defeat, it's not limited, and he'd need 1,000 buyers to buy all 1,000 of them. But then, I don't have it. I'm just doing an option. I'm just selling it. It's an option. I only have 2 of them, but I'm going to sell 1,000 to get the price down. And you can see how the price would fall if I'm selling 1,000 of these Joe Montanas. I wouldn't get 1,000 for them. I would get 100, 200, even though they're PSA 10s, because I got so many of them, right? And so let's look at a Michael Jordan. Now, these are heavily printed. This is a Flair Michael Jordan, 1990. And it's a 10, but look at it's only worth 191 because there's a lot of them. And then it's 194 and it's 186, 191. So you can see there's more Jordans, and so it's only 190. But in the Montanas, it's 1982, and it gets $1,000. If there was, we can go to, so this is when you put a lot out there, right? This is, look at all of them, and the price is much lower. This is a specialty car, so it gets 408. But you can see here, $190. You have a 1990 Flair Jordan PSA 10, which are easy to get because these are well centered and nice cards and well cornered. But you can see the difference. It's Michael Jordan, but there's so many printed, it lowers the value, which is what the option derivative's doing. They're selling 100,000 ounces of gold, and the derivative knocks the price down. Well, wait a minute, but I don't have 100,000 ounces of gold. I have 5 ounces or I have 50 ounces. That's what needs to happen to get the free market price. So to get the real price of this, you need to sell it on eBay one of one. Okay, I'm selling my ounce of gold and get away from the derivative price, which is bullshit because they're dumping the gold on the market that doesn't exist. In paper, I have 100,000 ounces, but I really don't. I only have 1,000 ounces, let's say. And that's why I'm telling you the price on the derivative market is much lower than reality, right? So let's go to the 80, I don't know, let's do the 87 Jordan. I can't even find an 87 Jordan PSA 9. Oh, here you go. So here's a 9. It's 1350. It's not his rookie. His rookie's the 86. I showed you. It's 500,000. This is a 9, a 1987 9, 1350. I just showed you the 1990 Flair. It was 190. Why the difference in price? Because there's a lot more Flair and Hoops 1990 than there is 1987 PSA 9s, which are hard to get centered. So you can see the lower the production, the more it's worth. And that's the whole point of it. And that's my point with this whole bullshit COMEX. That's why I tell you, based on me doing this since the early 90s, I understand this a lot better than Alligator and these other stockbrokers because I live this. So I know supply and demand. I know what you're looking for, and that's the difference. So I know this is worth 10 times the value because the value is created by COMEX. It's created by derivatives where they're selling 100,000 ounces, but they only have 10. Right? They got 10 ounces. They're selling 100,000 because it's a derivative and it's bullshit. And the price is 2,300. And I'm saying, take that out, take that 100,000 out that they don't have. It's just paper. Of course, the price is much higher, and I'm just proving it now. Look at the difference in the Jordan. You get a Flair 90 Jordan, which is heavily produced. You still get 200 for it. And here you get a 1987, which is very much more limited, and it's 1350. Now let's look for a PSA 10. Oh, that was a PS. Okay, I am looking for PSA 10, but I don't. Yeah, you can't find it in the 87. Uh, and be careful. This one looks like it, but it's a 2007. So you got to be very careful to get the right one. Uh, See, but then here's a PSA 8. So it's not in as good a shape and it's $389. We were looking at a PSA 9 for 1300. This is why the condition is huge, right? The better your condition, the much more, because it's much more limited. There's not, I can't even find a PSA 10 here, but a PSA 9 goes for 1300 and the 8 goes for 389. Imagine what the 10 goes for, 30, 20, $30,000. Uh, so that's really, well, we saw that in the Montana. His PSA 9 on his 82 was $110. His PSA 10 in the 1982 was $900. So that's why condition's critical for sports cards, not so much for gold, because gold's gold. Unless it's scratched, this is in great condition. This is PSA 10 if it was, but it doesn't matter. I'm buying the ounce of gold. So that's really what you are looking for, is it's limited, and the better the grade, the more limited. I show you that 1965 mantle for $60,000. It's a PSA 9. Could you imagine what the PSA 10 goes for? If we do the math on the Montana, which we really can't, I mean, it's 8, 9 times higher. So let's do 9. It's 540,000 for the mantle. If you can find a PSA 10, which you probably can't, there's probably 10 that are, because the centering was so bad. There's only probably 10 of them. So that you have a 10 count, you got a million people wanting it, the price will go up. All right, Greg, get down. What's going on? Yeah, lower grades are worth less. Yep. It's hard to find old cars at a 10. Yep. TK, you got any Jordan at 10? Well, I got Jordans that are probably 10s, but I don't have them graded. I have a lot of the 89 and 90 tops and hoops and stuff. I do have the 87. It's not graded. And I think I have the 88. I didn't get the 86. Like I said yesterday, it was like $500, $1,000 for ungraded. And back then I wouldn't spend that much on a card because I had no idea that a PSA 10, oh, look at the Montana. I think I maybe spent $100 on the card and it was perfect. A little bit off center, but I wanted a Montana rookie. I had no idea it'd be worth $125,000. I mean, who are you kidding? DK got any gold that is rare? No, I just buy the gold. That's the gold. What you up to heading away soon? Not right now. I don't have rare gold. I got the cards, so that's where I got into the 50 count Mahomes. Was I started to realize the more limited, the more value. I checked that for condition. I bought it at a Foot Locker. I just went in to look for something and I saw the Mahomes 50 count and it was $50. I said, well, I know it's worth a lot more than that. Again, that's an ungraded. This is a 10. So who knows, a couple $1,000. It was a no brainer. But I didn't, gold's gold. I didn't collect necessarily old gold or limited gold. To me, I'm collecting gold. That's all I cared about. Baseball or sports cards, it's all the grade. You must get it graded because then you know it's real and you know it's a 10. So if I had this, like here, I can't say this Mahomes cards is a 10. It's not graded, but it is a 50 count. So I'd probably get a decent price for it. But if I got it graded and it came back at 10, I'd get a higher price because there's no risk. You know it's a good card. You know it's a 10. Here, you think it's a good card because it's a newer card, but we don't know the grade. Now, the corner is good. There's no centering to worry about. It should be a 10, but Again, I'm not, I would get more if I got it graded 10 than if I tried to sell it like that. That I understand. But this is why, and then you're looking for demand, which is what we're looking at gold and silver. The more heavily demanded cards, the Bobby Orrs, the Mickey Mantles, the Tom Brady's, the Jordans, Montana's, Jerry Rice. That's what you're looking for, and that's why you do this. Is it's demand, right? There's more demand for Montana rookie than Jared Goff rookie, right? And then a PSA 10 is more limited than a PSA 9, so that's why it has a higher value. It's really just because it's more limited. And people might like the 10 because it'll be worth more money. They're not, if you just wanted the card, you do what I did. I saw it at a show. It was $100. It wasn't graded, but I had a Montana rookie. And then now the grading, but there wasn't grading back then. In the early 90s, there was no grading. So I graded it myself. Corners sharp, centering a tad off, picture looks fine, no marks on it. This should be a 10, maybe a 9 because of the centering. So I'm hoping it's a 10. And you can see the difference between the 9 and the 10. But let's go to 87 Fleer PSA 10. So let's see what we got here. So you don't even see too many PSA 10s. So you got to be careful. This is a 1996 Jordan. So you think it's the rookie card, but it's 96. And you notice the 160 in price. So now here's Magic, okay? This is not his rookie card 79, but here's a Magic PSA 10, $3,000. The PSA 9 is probably $100 or $200. So this is why you go after name players and you go after 10s. They're much more, look at it, he had 39 bids on it. So 39 people demanded for the Magic. Let's see if we can find a bird. Here's Drexler, got 1149 in a buy it now. And again, this is sold. So these are the actual auctions that went. I keep getting these 96 Jordans, not the 86 Jordan. Here's a Karl Malone, and he got $3,000. So again, it's sold. $3,000 was accepted, PSA 10. See, here's a Jordan that's not graded. The guy's lying. He's saying it's a PSA 10. He's trying to scam you. If you notice, the card is not in a container. It's not, it doesn't have the frame like this that says, oh, here's the grade. So this guy's trying to scam. So you got to be careful on that. This is just a card, right? It's a non-graded card. And he got $2,600 for a non-graded Jordan card because it was a Jordan rookie. I wouldn't have done it. That's a bit much to pay for a non-graded card, even though it is. Unless you're at a card show, then it doesn't make sense. If I'm at a card show, then I can buy it. I can say, yeah, Let's see who else we got in here. Uh, Here we go. So Larry Legend. So Magic was 3,000, and here's Larry Bird, 5,000. 80s is not his rookie card. The rookie card was the 79 tops. So there's Larry, PSA 10. I have this card. I don't know if it's a 10. I didn't get it graded. 31 bids, 5,000. So the demand's 31 people want it, or 31 bids. Could be 20 people bidding multiple times. Larry gets 5,000. So Larry's worth more than Magic. So you can see the way the free market works. So Luke, in your answer of gold's illiquid, I don't know what you're talking about. At worst, so you go to a market. So if I'm trying to sell this, I go to my coin store and I go here, I'd like to sell it, and they buy it back. But I'm not going to go to Target or Costco to sell it. I'm going to go to the store that has it, or I'm going to go to eBay and sell it. So eBay is a market for selling, trading. That's what it is. It's Austrian economics, free trade. Or I'm going to go to the jewelry store. I'm not going to go to a bank, but I have no idea what you're talking about. It's illiquid. How is this illiquid? It's like saying, it's like saying, well, Larry Bird, I can't sell Larry Bird. Well, yeah, you can. If you do it on eBay, you get $5,000 for it. So you got to come to the right place to do your buying and selling, right? That's the key to it. So when you say it's illiquid, you're saying I can't sell it. You're telling me you can't sell gold. You need a drug test, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Where are you trying to sell it that you can? At worst case, you can go to eBay and sell it, or you go back to the store. And if you're buying it on SP Bullion or JD Bullion, then they do buy it back. You can sell it to them back. Anybody that sells the gold will buy it because they need inventory, and they don't want to get the 400-ounce James Bond bars, so they're going to take it. Greg and John. PSA 10 is hard to find. They don't give out too many these days, I heard. I have no idea. Thank you, Greg and John. That's why I analyze like this. I try to put examples in. See, when you listen to some of these guys, Peter Schiff or Andy Scheckman or Maloney or Rude or Reichert, they don't really give you, they'll talk at a weird like Mark McGuire. It's in the, what does he call it? In the casino, the ring fence. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, I got a master's in economics. I don't know what he's talking about with the ring fence and a casino and the chips. I think what he's meaning is there's only so much gold that you can do in the derivative market, and as it's going away, then these options should start dissipating. And then he does say, and now we'll get a real physical market, probably because I keep bugging him going, why is there no physical market? And there isn't one, and it's still doing derivatives, as I showed you. But I try to set the table with examples so you can understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, I'm a bad teacher. If I can't explain to you and you don't understand, I'm a bad teacher. Pure and simple. So I'm trying to be a good teacher, and a good teacher would explain that you can now understand what the hell I'm talking about. So when sometimes Greg, you confuse me when you don't, like, what's inflation? I talk about it like all the time. It's printing money, right? It's inflating the supply of money. So I don't know how you don't understand that. I can't make it any simpler. Or now I explained hyperinflation. You probably didn't get that, but after I explained it, I'm sure you did. But again, it's COMEX. So I'm trying to explain COMEX. And then what the BRICS is going to do is it'll increase the demand. So BRICS is like saying, okay, everybody, let's go. Everybody needs to get Larry Bird cards. We all need Larry Bird cards because we know they won't lose value, like gold. Gold will never lose value. So imagine all the brick central banks buying Larry Bird cards. And then you got China with 60,000 Larry Bird cards, 60,000 tons. In Russia with 30, and they all have all these Larry Bird cards. Well, it's kind of a bad example, but so you have 255,000 tons of Larry Bird cards. And as soon as that all runs out, the price goes up. So what BRICS is doing is buying them because they know it's going to hold the value. Larry Bird's going to hold his value. Gold's going to hold it. Magic's going to hold it. Jordan's going to hold it. Kareem's going to hold it. So you're looking for certain things. The Montana card, it's not going down. The Montana card I showed you, PSA 10 was roughly, let's say $900. You're not going to see it at 200. You're not going to see it at 300. The PSA 10, not the PSA 9. The PSA 9 is 100. Let's go with the PSA 9. It was $110 for the 82 Montana second year card PSA 9. You're not going to see it at $20. That's my point. Dealing with sports cards, it goes from 20 to 50 to 110. So now it's at 110. It's not going down. The Montana card will not go down because you paid 110 for it. You're not going to take less. It's Montana. So that card slowly goes to 200 and 300. But it never goes to 50. But yet we see gold with these stupid derivatives go from, it drops 10, 20, it's 2,400, now it's 2,300. You'll never see that with the Jordan card. You'll never see it with the Montana card. You'll never see it with, Brady, Mantle. You'll never see that card. I show you the Mantle $60,000 card for 2 months now. It's not gone down. I show you the Brady card. It's gone up to 10 million. It was 7.5. Now it's 10. You never see it go down. Why is gold going down? Because of the derivatives. Because somebody's actually saying, I want to lower the price. Nobody's buying Larry Bird for $5,000 to sell it for $3,000. No, nobody's this stupid, right? You're buying the Jordan. If I buy the Larry Bird for $5,000 and if I go sell it, I sell it for $6,000. And you'll look at the auctions and you'll say I paid $5,000 for it. It'll never go less than $5,000, maybe $4,900. But it's on its way to $6,000. I mean, this was never $5,000. It is now. So it was $2,000, and then it went to $3,000, and now it's $5,000, and it'll go to $7,000, and it'll go to $10,000. It's a PSA 10, which is extremely limited in the 86 flare. It was extremely hard to get it perfectly centered. That's the point. But in gold, yet you see it down $30, and I say that's impossible. Nobody is selling their gold. Nobody sells the Larry Bird that they bought for $5,000 for $3,000. Nobody. Why would you do it? Why would you pay $5,000 for it to sell it for $3,000? Now, if you have to sell, it's one thing. I need to eat. I need to pay mortgage. I'll take $4,500 for it. Maybe one guy, but you're spending $5,000 on that. You're not taking less. That's not money for food or anything. So really hard to understand, but that's what COMEX is. It's well, we're going to sell the gold, and you go, nobody's selling the gold. Nobody is selling this. Nobody's selling the bars. None of the central banks are selling it. Why the fuck's the price going on? Because some idiot's doing a put option. He's trying to get the price down because the Chinese want to buy. So it'd be like me saying, okay, Greg and John, do some put options on the Bird card. I want to buy it for $3,800. So you lower the price by dumping 1,000 Bird 10s on the market, and that'll lower the price. The only problem is you'll never find that many, and nobody would be stupid enough to sell it for under 5,000 if you just paid 5,000 for it. TK, why did Luke say it's so liquid? I have no idea. He wouldn't answer the question. Montana is the best quarterback, you think? Yes, I do. He beat the 84 Bears. He beat Lawrence Taylor. He's the best. Brady never had to face a Lawrence Taylor or an 84 Bears. And Montana beat him. And he beat him without Rice. The 84 Niners beat the 84 Bears, who were loaded, and then they beat Montana in the Super Bowl, and Brady never did that. And Brady lost a lot of Super Bowls. Montana never. Not only did he never lose one, he never threw an interception in the Super Bowl. He did in that Dallas the catch game. He threw 4 or 5 picks, but never in the Super Bowl. He never threw a pick, and he just was electric. And he won with Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark, who was really nothing until he caught the pass. Otherwise, he'd be nothing. And then he finally had Rice, and he won 2 Super Bowls with Rice. Before Rice, he had no running attack and no passing attack, no receivers. He won 2 Super Bowls, and he should have won a third. They should have beat Washington in '83. That would have been such a good Super Bowl. The Niners against the Raiders. That would have been. That was that Marcus Allen when he ran for 150 yards and he did the reverse. It should have been against the Niners, and that would have been what a game. The Niners would have won because you couldn't beat Montana. TK, we need gold to go up. Well, it's a lot higher than you think, and that's what this whole exercise is. It's like saying, well, we need the Larry Bird card to go up. Well, it's 5,000 now, right? So that's what you need. Here's another Magic Johnson at 2,800, 36 bids. The other one was 3,000. So he's, it's not going to be exact. If there's another Bird card, it's probably not going to be, 5,000. It might be 4,900. Here you go. Charles Barkley, rookie card, 6,200, 26 bids, because these are hard to get centered. So Barkley at 62. Now here's Magic at 3,149. So he's gone from 30.50 to 20. What was this? 28.37, and then he's 31.49. So you see the little fluctuations. This had 5 bids. So you run different auctions, you're going to get it. But again, it's very limited to get the 10s, and that's what you got. What kills me, okay, now forget it. Yeah, you don't see any Michael. Well, I have that one Michael Jordan in the saved for 499,000, but you don't see a lot. So that's the point. The auctions are not exact prices, but close. So he's 2,800. He's 3,000. All right. So Magic's 28 to 3,000. Birds probably right around 5,000. So if I had the Bird PSA 10, I have the Bird. It's not graded. I have the Jordan. It's not, or the Magic. It's not graded. I don't know if they'll get 10s. They'll probably get 9s. It was very hard to find them centered, but that's what I would expect. So if I get the Bird PSA 10, I'm expecting $5,000 for it. I'm going to put it out at $5,000. Just a little under see, they've created the market because you've taken it, you let the buyer and the seller go at it. And the seller goes, here it is. And the buyer has 30 bids and it's $5,000. That's the market for it. We didn't set the market. The buyer always sets the market. So somebody's willing to pay $5,000 for the Larry Bird PSA 10. But that's the problem with this. This needs that auction. This needs to do what Magic and Bird have done, which is create, I'm going to sell it, and then what's the market going to offer? You don't have that now. You have COMEX doing these derivatives, lowering the price, so China and Russia and these other countries can buy gold cheaper. And so they can get out of some of the other options that they're in cheaper. That's all it is they're trying to escape the put options that they put in at 29.90 or 22.90. So they do the derivative to try to get it down so they can get out. Well, that's not a real price. Why are you doing a put option on gold in the first place? It's going through the roof. Why are you doing that? So to say you need gold to go up, we need that. That's what we need. This, right? We need. Where am I? All right. We need this. We need a auction. We need a free market price. 5,049. So what you're telling me, let me put this as clearly as I can. Here's an 86 Flair Larry Bird PSA 10, $5,000. And here we have, let's say this is an ounce of gold, it's worth 2,300. Does that make any sense to anybody? That the Larry Bird PSA 10 is worth twice as much as an ounce of gold? Does anybody believe that shit? I mean, that's ridiculous, right? There's way more demand for gold than Larry Bird in 86 Flair. I mean, come on. So that's where I get my prices. There's no way that this is 2,300. So that's why I say buy the gold, buy the gold, buy the gold. You want the gold price to go up, but it's not in a mechanism that it can. It's in COMEX where they're doing derivatives and they're selling 100,000 to keep the price down because they're fighting. They don't want to lose the dollar. And then China wants to buy and Russia wants to buy cheap. So the incentive is to keep the price down, but it's not a real price. It's not a market price. It's not a market. This is the market price of Bird, right? So we know gold is not at the market, and that's what I'm bitching at. I want gold to be a free market price. And when gold is a free market price, it'll be 10 times this Larry Bird because the demand has to be, because A, gold is money, B, this is going out. So when this goes out, I got to buy gold. So the demand is huge for gold. The price has to go up. How do you think Larry Bird gets this price? Because of the demand. Here it's 31 bids, but it probably started at 4,000. So the demand has raised the price on Bird and Magic, right? That's based on the demand. The demand for gold's huge, central banks and everything. It's price fixed. So until we get a free market price, a Larry Bird price on gold, and a Magic Johnson price on gold, a free market price, then we got to worry about these derivatives. Now, what we're saying is it's coming to an end because they actually need the physical gold to do the derivatives, and it's running out. As Mark McGuire says, the casino's running out of chips, and then they won't be able to do it. And that's near its end very soon. And once that happens, then we will get an eBay gold price. And that's where I come up with 50,000. Because if it's 5,000 for Bird, and I got, how much was the Montana? Montana was like 9,000. So you got a Joe Montana rookie card for nine. No, it wasn't. It was a second year card. A Joe Montana PSA 10 second year card is 9,000, and an ounce of gold is 2,300. What's wrong with this picture? Now, what happens to these two cards when the dollar goes out? And this is my thesis. These cards get priced in gold. So right now it would be 2 ounces of gold by the Bird card and approximately an ounce and a quarter, or let's say an ounce buys the Magic card. But then as gold goes up, it'll be, so if you get 5,000, it's probably going to be like a quarter ounce. Gold will hit 20,000. A quarter ounce of gold will buy the Bird card. That's how it'll work. And the 10th of an ounce will buy the Magic card. So that's how you price these in gold as you get the gold price, the real gold price. And that's why I say this is nowhere near the real gold price. That's why I say buy as much as you can. And this is why I sing and dance out of the store, because I know what the real price is. If Bird's 5,000, because I collect cards, and I know some guys badmouth cards for some reason because they're idiots. That Craig Hemke guy, he's a fucking idiot. Oh, sports cards. Yeah. A lot, you're showing your ignorance. But because these cards have the value, I know what the gold value is going to be tremendous. It is nowhere near 2,300. It's far more, it's not more limited than the Bird card, per se per one card, but for the whole card market, it's very limited. I mean, the Manals and all these guys are part of the card, and they're all getting lots of money, but the gold is one gold. So it's an ounce of gold will go up because it's way too limited, as you can see. If the bird card's 5,000, so you telling me 2 ounces of gold or the bird? I'll take the 2 ounces of gold because I know it's 2,300 on its way to 20,000. Because a bird's getting 5,000, gold's going to get 20. That's the way it is because we got the cone, because the price, there's no physical price for this. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. Since you have no physical price for gold, where are you getting 2,300? Well, that's the derivative price. Do you see a derivative bird price in here? Do you see a $100 bird price going up and down? No. Do you see dramatic shifts? No. Montana PSA 9, 110, 100, 120, 190. It was all right there. It never went $10, 200, $10, 200 as the bird's doing. So it's just such bullshit. That's why I feel so confident the gold price will go very, very high, Greg and John, because it will get to a physical market. Right now, it doesn't have one. What you see on eBay is not the physical market. They're using the derivative price to set the price, which we know isn't close to reality. So once it blows up and we get a physical price like Larry Bird, we're going to see 40, 50,000 an ounce because there's much more demand, and it's real money for it than that. So they're keeping the price down, but yet this is my problem with alligator. There's no correlation between the dollar and these. So here, gold, Larry Bird's $5,000. Oh, so nobody wants the dollar because Larry Bird's 5,000. I don't think it has anything to do with the price of the dollar. Nothing. And if gold went to 5,000, it would have nothing to do with the price of the dollar. It's all supply. This is all supply and demand. This is somebody, you had 31 bids on Larry Bird, and it's $5,000. What does that got to fucking do with the dollar? Nothing. So if gold was $5,000, what does that have to do with the price of gold? Nothing. It's as much. This and the Larry Bird card are very, very the same. These are assets that there is a demand for, and that's how the price is set. It has nothing to do with the dollar. It has nothing to do with inflation. Are people buying the Larry Bird card for $5,000 because if there's inflation? Hell no, they want Larry Bird cards. They want a Larry Bird because there's a great player, PSA 10, because it's limited. So they want great limited players. Joe Montana, I showed you. And that's the 82 tops is not as limited as this 86 Flair. This 86 Flair, I showed you the Barkley rookie was $6,000. So you can see there's Karl Malone, there was Stockton, I don't think Stockton was in it. Karl Malone, Isaiah, Kareem's in it, Dr. J's in it, Magic and Bird and Jordan. So there's like 10 cards worth $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in the one set. I have most of the cards as best condition as I can. The only one I really nailed was Elijah one. That one's a 10. Everything else, I remember a dealer asking me, how'd you get that card? I go, I got lucky. I saw it and some guy had it, and I think I bought it for $100. But it's his rookie, I believe, and it's got to be a 10. It's perfectly centered and everything. But that's the point. There's a boatload of star players because they didn't do after Magic came out. It was 79. They didn't do cards in 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85 until 86 because they couldn't even nobody wanted to watch basketball. Till Magic and Bird came in, they started making it better. They didn't even make cards because nobody cared about it. But that's where you get into the strong players. Jordan, Bird, Magic, Kareem, Dr. J, and that's what I started to do, is realize those are the players to buy. Fuck the other guys, get those players. And that's what and then I went back into the 68s and the 65s, and I got Koufax and Mantle and Mays and Hank Aaron and everybody. So that's kind of what I did. So I showed you the Mays was 80,000 for PSA 10 68. And we see the PSA 9 Mantle is 60,000. You can't even find a 10. You'll never find a 10 Mantle. I mean, the centering was so bad. But I got a few that are pretty nicely centered. I got a real nice Koufax. I think I got a real nice Bob Gibson and Clemente and Mays and Aaron, Pete Rose. I mean, so it was just loaded. Now you get into it, and who's there? who are you going to collect? Oh God! I mean, maybe Mahomes and Burrow, and that's it. But that's how I bet. That's how I learned to bet, was card collecting, because you went after the stars, because that's who won, and that's how you picked. Oh, well, I'm going to bet on Willie Mays, and I'm going to bet on Joe Namath, and I'm going to bet on the Steelers. I mean, once the Steelers came out, I just bet on the Steelers. I bet on the Raiders. I mean, that's how you learn how to bet, was who are the stars, and then that's who you bet on. And they won, and that's why you bet on them. Greg and John, TK Larry Bird was a legend. He still is a legend. He's still alive. 86 Flair was the best set. It was a very nice set. I don't know if it was the best. I think the 65 Topps baseball is the best set. I used to have some of them, but never kept them. I didn't know they would be worth anything. And you're going to say the same thing. See, here's my point. I bought this card for $100. Probably not even. I never thought it would be worth $5,000. Now, is mine a 10? Mine's as close to a 10 as I could find, centering wise. So look at the centering on it. Okay. But when I bought it, it was maybe $25, $50. And you never had grading back then. I got it in the early 90s. There was no grading. So did you think this would be worth $5,000? And that's my whole proponent of gold. I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at the Montana for 125,000. Did you ever think Montana's rookie would be 125? Never. I bought it for $100. I didn't even dream that it would go to 500. That wasn't even I wanted a Montana rookie, and I wanted the best condition Montana rookie I could find, that's centered in the corners. It's very sharp, but it's a little off center. I've showed you that. The Bobby Orr card, same thing. It's a beautiful card. It could be a 10. I don't know. Did you ever think gold's going to hit 50,000? It's going to, but this is where you're looking at it at 23 caught in a derivative trap. Once we can get it to this, where it's in a free market, gold, I am very confident, goes to 50. Very confident. I mean, come on. You got Bird at 5,000. You seriously don't think gold's more valuable than Larry Bird's third-year card, PSA 1086 Flair? Really? TK, I used to collect cards, but I stopped. Well, this is how I collect. I got this, and I put it in a plastic, and I got this. This is a 1999. So this is how I collected. Then I took, this is a limited card, 100 count, and it's Barry. And there's a Mark McGuire, and I think I got Cal Ripken, and I got Griffey, Frank Thomas. There wasn't a lot in baseball, and Roger Clemens, but then Clemens and Sosa and McGuire and Bonds did steroids and killed their value. But I never had that trouble in football. It was always Barry and Emmett and Montana and Rice and Lawrence Taylor and Emmett, and so you had, and Walter Payton. I was able to get some, and that's what you did. And I went back into the 70s, and I got Swan and Stallworth and Franco Harris and Lambert. You started going after those guys because I realized, wait a minute, this is the Steelers, and I would get their rookie cards. They're not graded. Some of the 70s our terrible centering. Topps had terrible centering, but that's what the flavor was. I know the Steelers are going to be huge in demand. Let's go get a Franco and a Lynn Swan and Joe Green, but I didn't get his rookie card. I didn't do it right. I should have got all the rookie cards, made a set out of the Steeler rookie cards, and I could have sold for $1 million. Barry Bonds should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. They would all be in the Hall of Fame. Do you think they should be in the Hall of Fame? The story play, yeah, I don't see the problem with it. Mark McGwire, why not? Frank Clemens, absolutely. Barry Bonds, he had 700 and something home runs. How is he not in? Alex Rodriguez, absolutely. All those guys, because steroids weren't illegal and baseball allowed it, so they didn't do anything wrong. It helped. The only thing it helped you do was heal quicker. But because it was legal, they probably did the cream and said, "Oh, I feel better. I can play." It didn't help their hand-eye coordination. It didn't help McGwire hit one home run. He had the hand-eye coordination to do it. Roger Clemens and Sosa. Again, Alex Rodriguez. I don't get it. I really don't. They should be all in the Hall of Fame. Because the reason they're not makes no sense. Well, they did steroids. Oh, so how about the players that drink, or the players that smoke, or the players that smoke grass, or the ones that took aspirin? Should they not be in it? I mean, how you're judging it based on what happened? They were good players. They should be in the Hall. Barry Bonds, McGwire, Clemens, Alex Rodriguez. There's no question. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. That's a joke. Well, you bet. Yeah, I was a manager, not the player, and I bet on my own team. Now, why is Pete Rose that stupid instead of having his brother Phil bet the games or his uncle Marvin bet the games? Why does he bet him on himself? That he's an idiot, but he's in because he hit 4,000 hits. That's never been done before, and it'll never be done again. He should be in for that. Like, Barry should be in for 700 home runs. I mean, that's just, what's the point of having a Hall of Fame and you don't have those players in it? They absolutely should be. It's a joke. But then what I don't get is my cards lose value. Why is my card not more valuable? It's a Barry Bonds. Well, he's not in the Hall of Fame. He did steroids. Oh, so the card's not worth anything? Really? Oh, my God. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It helped the game, too, become popular there was that big home run chase. I remember I was on the golf course, and we'd go to after 9, you go in to the clubhouse, and you get a hot dog and a Coke, and the game would be on, and we'd have 5 or 10 minutes to get to the 10th tee, and here comes Mark McGwire up. He's got 48 home runs, and we're waiting for him to hit, and then he hits a home run, and you're all excited. Absolutely. I mean, like now you ask me, I'm not watching. There's nobody to watch. Who am I going to watch? Ranger Suarez or maybe what? JD Martinez and the other guy on Philadelphia, whatever. I can't think of the guy's name. He had a home run yesterday. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. You would stop. I never saw Mantle. I was too young for Mantle, but I could imagine you stop what you're doing to watch him hit. You stop what you're doing to watch Willie Mays hit. If Koufax or Bob Gibson are pitching, you're watching them pitch, going, are they going to get a no hitter? And they're not going to get pulled in the 7th inning, or the manager would get killed. You get booed off the thing. He'd have to quit, because if you took Koufax out in the 8th inning of a no-hitter, he'd kill you. Bob Gibson would kill you. I mean, it wouldn't even be close. You're taking me out. I'm not going out. I got a no-hitter. I'm in the 8th inning. What are you kidding me? Nolan Ryan, you think you could get him out, or Roger Clemens? No fucking way. But yes, it helped the game. And so that's where I go into the 65 top. So this to me is my favorite. This is my favorite set. The 86 flare is nice, and I like it. See, here's the Jordan, right? 499,000. We didn't see it in there, but it's probably farther on. But this is my favorite set. The 65 tops is my favorite. I love the look, and the players were just huge. So this is my favorite over the 86 flare. And the 86 flare was fucking loaded. Now this is the 68, which I like, but I like the 65 with the pennant. So here he's 72,000 for the 9, which is interesting because he's 60,000 in the 65 tops. I have this card and it's in fucking great condition. So again, I could be, and again, I should probably get a 9 on it. I don't know about a 10, but I could get a 9 on it. Here's a Mahomes card, 500,000. And then here are the two. Here's Brady now. There's only 10 of these. It's $9 million. I never see anybody buy it, but who the hell has $9 million? But priced in gold, this will be a few ounces of gold, but as the gold goes up, this will be 5 or 6 ounces of gold to buy this card. And then here's our Montana rookie, 125. So we were looking at his second year was $1,000, and you can see the difference. Here's his rookie, 125, and his second year is only 1,000. The question is, what is the 9 in his rookie year? That's what you really got to see is the difference between the 10 in the rookie, 125, and the 9 in the rookie. I mean, I'm hoping it's at least 10 grand. Then I got at least 10, but I'm hoping for the PSA 10 on it to get 125. So I don't know. I'm hoping I can get a 10. I don't know. I think, Greg and John, if I got a solid card, I think I'll get a 10. I don't think they won't give me a 10. I don't think they'll give me a 9 to give me a 9. I think if the card warrants a 10, I'll get it. I don't know if the Montana, it's a little off center, but this will be curious. My 68 Mental and my 69 Bobby Orr, who are very sharp cards. So we'll see. But that's the idea. These are physical prices. There's no derivatives. There's no bullshit. And that's why I say that's where I learned it from. So you get a lot. What do you think the real price of gold? This is what I mean. Is going to be like the Montana card. It'll be 125. That's my point. Once we get to a real physical price and not this bullshit paper price, which is mowed down plus premium, is not the real physical price. And that's why I dance and sing out of the store going, I know this is going to be a hell of a lot more once we get to this. So the question you and Luke and Bobby and Joey and Freddie and everybody else ask is, when are we going to get the eBay pricing? Why we don't have the eBay pricing is my question. Why don't we have this pricing? Why do we have the derivative bullshit pricing? And it's so, well, if this is valued fairly, why does everybody want the derivatives to lower the price so the Chinese can buy it at 8,000? Why? If it's a fair price, why would everybody run to buy it? Because everybody knows, all the central banks, China, Russia, all of them know that this price isn't close to reality, right? And we know it. And that's what I keep pushing you. Buy it. It's not the real price. It's like getting the Larry Bird $5,000 card for $500. And you're going to go, when is it going to go to 5,000? When we get a real price. But we can see what the price will be for the Bird, 5,000. How the fuck is the Bird 10, 5,000 and an ounce of gold, 2,300? Anybody? Anybody at all come up with an answer for that one? Because I'm telling you, that's the problem. buy as much gold and silver as you can. Silver at 32 an ounce. Come on, Magic's 3,000 an ounce a card, and Bird's 5,000, and silver's sitting at $30. Are you fucking kidding me? But when you go to eBay, you're not getting a true price. You're getting the paper derivative price. That's the price on eBay. And that's what I'm saying is, why can't we get a real price on eBay? But it isn't there yet. But once COMEX collapses, see, I think what'll happen, the BRICS countries, China, Russia, want a real gold price, much higher than the price is now. And even 20,000, I think, is low. I just showed you two Mantle cards. Okay, so this card's 72,000. Did you ever think you'd see 72,000 for a PSA 9? Not a 10, a PSA 9 Mantle card, 72,000. Do you have any doubt that gold will go to 72,000? It's not a rookie Mantle card. His rookie card is 52 tops, which is probably $100 million, if you can even find that. But this is a 68 tops Mantle, huge demand because it's Mantle, 72,000 in the free market. You don't think gold can go there? Why not? I mean, I'm showing you card after card. Montana rookie 125, 65 Mantle 60,000, 68 Mantle 72,000. And you don't think gold can get there? Why not? The Mantle cards are, the Brady cards are, the Jordan cards 500 grand. The one I showed you, the 87 was what, 5 grand or so, or 9 grand? I don't remember. But see, that's my point. That's where the real price of gold has got to be, in that neighborhood. And don't think that you're paying 72 grand for a PSA 9 Mantle. You're not going to pay for gold, which is real money, which is much needed and much more in demand than that Mantle card. I guarantee it. Yeah, the thing with gold, pretty much, the thing with gold is there's no condition. There is no PSA 9, PSA 10. You don't need the MS 70, MS 69. This is what you're paying for, is this gold, not needed to be graded. And you know it's gold because you can see it. Maple leaf, quarter ounce of gold, everything's on it. You know it's real. So let's go to Luke about illiquid and go, is this Mantle card liquid? Is this Montana card liquid? Are you telling me these aren't liquid? These guys they're on eBay selling them. What do you mean they're not liquid? So why is gold not liquid? It makes no sense. It's not a trigger like Bitcoin, where I can just go in and say sell 1 ounce and it goes into my wallet. And then what do I do with the money? I got to then take it to a bank and then take it out of the bank because I don't want to leave money in the bank. Here, I've got the card. And if I want to sell this card, I put it on eBay and I sell it. It's very liquid. Or I can go to a card show and sell it to a seller and make less money, but I could sell it if I need to. So I don't get the illiquid part of it. You have a Rolex, is that illiquid? I put it on eBay, and so it's really a stupid argument that it's illiquid. I don't know where he's getting it from and who he's trying to sell it to, but here's eBay, which you could easily sell it on eBay in 5 minutes. Put the auction up, ends tomorrow, buy it now, and boom, it'll be gone. Just put it at a decent price or best offer, and then it's sold in a day. There's 1,000 guys looking at the auctions that want gold. Gold is heavily in demand. If it's heavily in demand, it's not illiquid, it is liquid. So he must have saw some idiot's YouTube, and the guy says it's illiquid, and he believes him. And this is my argument with you guys. You've got to be careful who you're listening to, because they're not. You see anybody else sitting there telling you about this versus gold? Is there anybody else? I doubt it, because they can't understand and comprehend what I am explaining. That's why I go to this depth, because these are all liquid. B, we don't have a real gold price. And C, do you think the Larry Bird's going to be 5,000 and gold's 2,500 or 2,300? Makes any sense? So let's see what our gold's doing. It was down to 29.95 or something, and let's see where we at. So it's at 2,300, silver 28.89. So compare 2,300 with the Larry Bird card for $5,000. What would you rather have? That's why I would take gold at 2,300 all day over the Larry Bird card for 5,000. Because everybody wants gold and not everybody wants Larry Bird. Even though it's a nice card, and I do have the card, I don't have it graded. But you can see that's the whole point. Right? You want to get to a physical market, and that's what I mean by a physical market is on eBay, where buyers and sellers, and we don't have this derivative bullshit in the way, causing the price not to be accurate. That's what we're trying to get away from. And I believe when I say BRICS, they will go to a gold-backed currency, and then they'll have to raise the gold price probably to 10 or 20,000. And that's more, but even that isn't probably anywhere near what gold should be priced at. You see the Montana at 125, and I showed you a Mantle 60 and a Mantle 72. You don't think gold can get to Mantle? Really? There's a lot more demand for gold by all the central banks and billions of people in the world who are about to find this go to zero. And the other part is, if you have the Mantle card, or you have the Larry Bird or the Magic PSA 10 Flare, and the dollar goes out, those cards will keep value. So the Bird, let's take Bird for example, it's $5,000. The dollar goes out. The Bird card goes to zero in dollars, so it's not $5,000 anymore, but it's still Bird, and it's still a PSA 10. And then it becomes, maybe gold's at 20,000, it becomes a quarter ounce. So now a quarter ounce of gold buys you that $5,000 Larry Bird card, because gold's at 20,000. That's what's going to happen. Gold will be its own medium of exchange, and things priced in dollars go to zero because there is no more dollar, but the assets still have value. The Bird card still has value. So does the Magic. So does the Kareem. So does the Jordan. It just now needs to go from whatever it's priced in dollars to whatever will be priced in gold. And you'll still have the auctions, and the auctions will be in gold. It'll be, oh, I want a quarter ounce of gold for the Bird at 20,000 an ounce. Well, I'm going to go a half ounce. I'm going to go a half ounce for the Bird. And so he'll get the gold worth, because it's a real asset. And a real asset will keep its value, but it'll change from dollar to gold or silver. So there won't be barter. It'll just get repriced. First of all, I don't know how you could barter anything, because, all right, so the dollar's gone, and you want to go to the grocery store, you want to eat. There's milk and there's bread, tuna fish, Cheerios. How do I pay for it? What's the price? Well, I'm going to give you some bullshit silver or junk silver, or a quarter ounce of silver. Well, we don't know what the price is. You have to reprice it in silver so you can use silver, and then it's not barter anymore. There's really, you're not going to barter anything, because they'll have to reset the prices in gold and silver. Mostly, the grocery store will be mostly silver. An ounce of silver will buy you a nice, probably a half ounce of silver will buy you a nice steak, right? That's what will end up happening. But silver is going to go to 2,000 an ounce. So again, you've got to transition $10 for a New York strip equals what in silver? A tenth of an ounce. As silver hits 2,000, a tenth of an ounce is 200. Well, wait, the steak's not going to be that expensive. See, I was thinking about this yesterday, and it's not really price. It's if we go to purchasing power. So I think that's what these guys are trying to say is it's not the dollar going down. It's not the gold going up. It's the dollar going down. They're wrong in both counts. It's the purchasing power of what the gold will purchase goes up as the purchasing power of the dollar goes down. That's what they're trying to say. Because the dollar won't buy as much, but the gold will buy more. That's what it is, but it's not correlated at all. It's not the dollar going down in value. It's the dollar can't buy anything and gold and silver can. And so you don't really have a value of gold. So gold doesn't really go to 50,000 an ounce. Gold can buy you $50,000 worth of items is what they're trying to tell you. But they don't know. They're not economists, so they can't think like that. Problem with most of these guys, they can't think like me. They're on a different level with me, and it frustrates them. So when I call them out on it, they don't know what to say. They're scared to have me on their shows because I'm going to show them up. Because I actually understand all this shit. And so they don't put me on, and, oh, they're afraid. And, oh, I mean, these guys are so stupid. I mean, that's how I explain things, the Titanic. And here's an eBay exercise that magnifies it perfectly. This is your asset, and this is this is COMEX. COMEX is like dumping 10,000 Larry Bird cards on the market, but you'd only have one, and then it's going to lower the price because there's 10,000 out there. So, oh wait, yeah, you won my auction, but I don't really have the Bird card. Well, you're not really supposed to take delivery. So this is exactly what COMEX is, right? This is where we're at. So I put 10,000 Larry Bird cards out, but I only have 5. And then people buy, and then now I don't have any more Larry Bird cards. Now I can't do the Larry Bird auction because I don't have any more Larry Bird cards. That's what Mark McGuire is trying to tell us with the casino chips and all that. So in other words, they can do the COMEX options as long as they have physical gold, but they don't have all the gold. They only have 4% of it, apparently. So 96% is bullshit. So again, I can do a Larry Bird auction because I have actually 4 Larry Bird cards that are PSA 10. So I can run 4 auctions, but I'm going to run 400. But 4 people will want their cards. Now I don't have any more Larry Bird cards. I can't do any more Larry Bird auctions because I actually need real cards to run the auction, and I can't. So that's what we're waiting for. So the answer to the question, when will the price go up, is when they're out of Larry Bird cards and they can't do the auction anymore. Because if anybody wants the Larry Bird card, they're going to sue me for it because they gave me $5,000 in the auction. They don't get the card. I'm sued, and that's COMEX. They're going to want the gold. They want to take delivery, but I don't have it, so I can't. And that's it. And they're going to sue me for it, and then the game's over. So that's where we're at. And there's like 5 Bird cards left, and we keep running the auction with 1 and then 1. So finally we option the 5 Bird cards, and now there's no more Bird cards, and then there goes COMEX. They're doing it with gold. Silver will be a little bit longer because you don't need to take delivery, but taking the delivery, so I can do 100 auctions of Larry Bird as long as I have 1 physical card. But when I don't have any more cards, the auction's over. Then the price goes up. Then we get it on eBay, and the price goes to the moon. So that's what we're waiting for. To put it as elementary as I can, that's what we're waiting for in COMEX. Once they run out of gold to put in with their derivatives, the game's over. And with all the demand for physical gold by all the BRICS countries and China and the Chinese citizens, They're not going to have gold much longer. The game blows up. Here comes BRICS and all the BRICS countries and all the central banks with gold. Venezuela now joined BRICS. Well, they're going to need gold. So everybody who joins BRICS, the demand for gold goes up and up and up. And there goes the price. And then we're going to see $72,000 Mickey Mantle gold. And that's why I'm saying if don't get 60,000 and 70,000 for his cards, they're not even rookie cards and they're not even PSA 10s. So I think there's more demand for gold than Mantle, although it's probably very, very close. But how are they getting 70,000 for a Mantle card and we're at 2,300 for gold? Does it make any sense? That's why I'm saying once we get out of the derivatives to a real physical price of gold, that's why I come up with 50,000. And I come up with it based on Mantle and Orr and Montana and Magic and Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, Brady. That's where I come up with it. Derek Jeter, because people will spend that much on cards. What do you think they're going to spend on gold? Are you kidding me? And the demand for the gold is much greater than how many people are buying Mantle cards? 10,000? Well, I think there's a lot more than 10,000 buying gold. And as they push the price up, it'll go and it'll go to the moon. That's where I get the analysis from to make it easier on everybody. How my mind works, that's why I see gold at 50,000 because it's being bullshitted down to it's nowhere near the price, but you can see these cards are getting 70,000. Montana's getting 125,000 for his rookie card, right? But gold's 2,300. Something makes no sense here. Well, the government doesn't want gold to go up, but they don't care if Montana goes to 125. They're not interfering with that, but not gold. Gold can't go to 125. And it's my point. It's all the same. It has no bearing on the dollar. But I will give it this comment. The gold price won't go as much as the purchasing power. So an ounce of gold will buy the Mantle card. Put it that way. So right now it takes 72,000 of these to buy the Mantle card. And pretty soon it'll be 1 ounce of this will buy the Mantle. That's how you have to look at it. And, I'm curious if we go back to 1971 and we look at what the Mantle card was. Now, granted, they didn't have grading. Let's say you had let's say the Mantle rookie back in 1971. You want to measure inflation. The Mantle rookie in 1971 versus the Mantle rookie now, and your inflation is like you can't even calculate it. It's millions of percent, right? You probably could get the card for 200-300, and now it's 2-3 million. A lot of inflation, right? So that's why you can't measure it as a percentage because it's different demands in different markets, and there's no central market and central demand for it. All right, gold 2,300, silver 2,891. It doesn't matter. That's paper price. We're going to get to that Mantle price of 71,000 or 60,000, or the Montana price of 125, or the Jordan price of 500,000. Hopefully the Tom Brady price of 9 million would be nice too. Can you imagine 9 million for an ounce? But that's what the purchasing power of gold is. That's what that hits the nail on the head. It's really not that the gold will go to 50,000 an ounce because the dollar will be gone. It's what the gold can buy, and 1 ounce will buy that $70,000 Mantle card. That's really how you got to look at it. And that's what I keep telling Luke. You'll be able to buy a house with 2 or 3 ounces of gold, a $500,000, $600,000 house. That's how it is. It's not going to be, you'll have to go to the IRS and say, I'm putting $100,000 in. You won't need it. You're going to go on eBay and you say, I'm going to give you an ounce for that $72,000 Mantle card, and you will ship the ounce of gold to the guy, and he's going to give you the Mantle card. That's how you're going to do it. There won't be money. And that's what they need to do is come out with money backed by gold. And then you'll see what it will buy. Right. And then I'll give the guy, I don't even know what gold will be at. Let's say gold's 25,000 an ounce. So $100 gold back bill might be worth $50,000. All right. So here, I'm going to give you this $100 bill for the Mantle card, which we can see is $72,000 in inflated money now. So that's your bottom line. All right, I think that's it. I wanted just to do the baseball. And then I had this brainstorm. I love when I get these brainstorms and go off on these tangents. Okay, let's review again. We might have already lost some games. Philadelphia, 5-star. I think this starts a little shortly. Philadelphia, 5, this baseball today. Atlanta, under 8 for 3. Houston, over 8.5 for 5. Washington, over 7.5 for 5. Baltimore for 3, the Yankees for 3, and Boston over 9.5 for 3. That's your baseball. And I wanted to do it early because there's so many day games. It's insane. Who the hell's going to the ballpark now? All right, I'm off to swim. When am I traveling? Probably in July. I don't know yet. I can't get a date out of Daria, so I will take Jenna because the last thing I want is to plan it with Jenna, and then Daria says, "Oh, my mom's coming." Well, if the mom's flying to Russia so she can meet me, I got to meet her. So I'm trying to give her time, and I think I'll ask her this weekend. Any news on your mom coming or on our any vacation dates? And she can say no, which is fine. And then, okay, Jenna, let's go. Probably Greece. But it's going to be hot in July. And then whenever Daria can make it, if we got to wait till, hopefully we don't have to wait. Hopefully we wait till her mom comes in, whenever that may be, and then we can go. But this is why you buy more gold and silver, because it's going to be the purchasing power of the gold and silver that you really want. And you're buying silver for $30 an ounce, and you're buying gold at only $2,300. Or you can buy the Mantle card at $72,000, or the Larry Bird card at $5,000. What makes more sense? And yes, COMEX will blow up because he'll run out of Larry Bird cards to sell, and I'll have to then stop doing the options on gold, and that is coming to an end soon. And then you have BRICS, and you have the petrodollar going away. You have all these things where the dollar's blown up and the gold's going to blow up, be worth a fortune. And that's how you have to look at it. And you can't ask every day, well, when's gold going up? And you don't even worry about the price. It's the purchasing power. It's what it will buy is how you measure gold. So when you say 50,000 an ounce, it probably will buy equivalent purchasing power of 50,000 an ounce. So the Mantle card, 60,000. The ounce of gold will buy the $60,000 card. That's where it'll get to, right? Or 2 ounces will buy the Montana rookie. Basically, that's how you have to view it, not that it's worth 100,000. And so my point on Bitcoin is, well, what's it worth? What's the purchasing power of Bitcoin? You don't have one because it's not backed by gold, and it's not really money. There is no purchasing power of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's priced in dollars, and it'll buy what a dollar buys, which is nothing. That's my argument with Bitcoin. Plus, it's not money. And I still have to, if I have a Bitcoin for 40 and I sell it for 60, then how do I get the money? I don't want to buy another one because I don't trust it. And the way Fink is doing it, it went from 70 to 60 in a few days on its way down to 30 or 20. All right, boys, I'll be back about 3:30 or 4. We'll take a look. I guess college football. We've already done our baseball. And we will see. We'll go through another conference. I can repeat like the SEC or the Big Ten just to get, again, what you're looking at. Now my prices are up on the site. If you want to buy, I know it's a bit early. The season starts the end of August. And I'm debating about doing like the economics classes, but for football. So if you want to get my picks here, it'll be a class. You'll have to pay for it, or you buy my picks on the site, and then I'll give some analysis for free. But I'm not going to give, like I did last year, all the picks for nothing. That's I gave you I gave you a gift, but I need a gift now. So hard to work. So I'm gonna probably, I don't know, $25, and then we'll walk through all the games. But it'll be private, so you'll need your email. So I will probably do that. All right, everybody. www.teaserking.com. That is your baseball picks and your gold free market analysis of him versus Mantle cards and Bird cards and Joe Montana cards. So I hope that helps. It really explains that you're really looking at purchasing. What will my gold buy is really what you're asking. And we're all looking for a price, but it's priced in dollars. But if the dollar isn't there, there won't be a $50,000 price, but it'll be what the gold will buy. And that's really what it is. All right, everybody. Have a great day. I'm off to the pool and relax. Okay. Take care, everybody.